What's up guys, this is Nick from Barben.com and today I'm comparing two of the most popular protein powders in the entire world. In fact, one of them is literally the most popular protein powder in the entire world. It's Optimum Nutrition's Gold Standard Whey. It is everywhere. It's available in over 24 different flavors. And the other is Dymatize ISO 100, which is the most popular hydrolyzed whey protein powder product on the market. Now, it is true that Optimum Nutrition has their own hydrolyzed whey protein powder product, and Dymatize ISO 100 has their own whey blend product that's more similar to Optimum Nutrition. But the fact is they're just not all that popular. If you're going to your local supplement store and you see the protein powders from these two brands, these are the two you're going to be comparing, the most popular ones from the respective companies. So they're going head to head today so you can figure out which is worth your money. So we're talking about the nutrition, we're talking about the ingredients, the price, and some other pros and cons, including the taste of these chocolate flavors, so you can decide which of them is right for you. But first of all, let's answer the most important question. What's the difference between these different types of whey? So whey is one of the two proteins in milk, the other is casein, and there are three main forms you can get it in. Whey concentrate is the least processed and it has the most carbs and fat and lactose and sugar. Then you've got whey isolate, which is processed in such a way that it removes most, if not all, of the carbs and fat. So an average scoop of whey concentrate is gonna have like 3 to maybe 5 grams of carbohydrates, whereas a scoop of whey isolate usually has 1 or maybe even none. And of course, because it's been processed, it's a bit more expensive and it's a bit more versatile for like really low carb diets, ketogenic diets, that sort of thing. Then lastly, you've got hydrolyzed whey or whey hydrolysis. And that's been even further broken down than whey isolate. So enzymes or acids have been added to it to the point that many consider it pre-digested, like it's already partly broken down when you consume it. So it absorbs super quickly, and it's also the most expensive of the 3 different types of whey. So a lot of people feel that hydrolyzed whey is the best form of whey protein because yeah, it absorbs the fastest, and it's usually the lowest or as low as whey isolate in carbohydrates and fat. And there is indeed some research to suggest that it's better for recovery than the other types of whey protein. Like there was a study published in the Journal of Science and Medicine in Sports that found that athletes who were training twice a day recovered their power more quickly than athletes who were training twice a day and taking whey isolate. But for the average person, like practically speaking, if you're someone who works out a few times a week instead of a few times a day, there's not gonna really be a practical difference. It does absorb more quickly, but the difference that'll make to the average person is probably very slim. But nonetheless, it does absorb more quickly. And also because some of the peptide bonds and large proteins are broken down before consuming it, it can be a little bit friendly to people with milk allergies. So there you go. It absorbs faster and it's a bit better maybe for people with milk allergies. Those are the 2 main benefits of hydrolyzed whey. So of those 3 whey proteins, Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard contains all 3 in the order of whey isolate, concentrate, and hydrolyzed whey, whereas Dymatize ISO 100 is hydrolyzed whey first and then whey isolate. So contrary to popular belief, it is not an entirely hydrolyzed whey protein powder, it's more like a hydrolyzed whey protein powder product. But nonetheless, the majority of the whey protein in Dymatize is hydrolyzed. It's the first ingredient in the protein blend, whereas with Gold Standard, hydrolyzed whey is the last ingredient in the protein blend. That's the most important difference between the two. Otherwise, the ingredients are pretty similar. This is the double rich chocolate flavor, and we're comparing that to Dymatize's gourmet chocolate flavor. A lot of the ingredients are the same. You're gonna get the natural and artificial flavors. You've got some cocoa, you've got some soy lecithin to help with mixability. That's the same with both products. The other 2 main things you wanna keep in mind here is that Optimum Nutrition has a second artificial sweetener called acesulfame potassium, which is a little bit more controversial than sucralose, like Splenda, because like there are some rat studies that found some problems, but only when they were eating the equivalent of a person eating like half a pound of sugar's worth of sweetness. It's approved by the FDA, it's largely considered safe, but nonetheless, there are some people who prefer to not take acesulfame potassium, which Optimum Nutrition has. And the other difference, which I think is a much more important one, is that Optimum Nutrition contains a blend of digestive enzymes. It's got aminogen, which is a blend of proteases, which are known for helping to break down protein. And it's got lactase as well, which can help to break down lactose. And there is indeed some research to suggest that aminogen, the blend of protein breaking down enzymes in Optimum Nutrition, results in an increased absorption rate of the protein. So that's a pretty big plus for Optimum Nutrition. Dymatize does not have any digestive enzymes, and it has no like lactase either. Now, it does have under half a gram of lactose, so it might not be a problem, but nonetheless, given the digestive enzymes, I don't know, I kind of want to give the edge to Optimum Nutrition here. Okay, but what about the actual protein content? This is hydrolyzed whey mostly. Are you actually getting more protein in this product than with Gold Standard? Yeah, you kind of are, yeah. Optimum Nutrition has 120 calories and 24 grams of protein, whereas ISO 100 has 120 calories and 25 grams of protein. So you are actually getting a little bit more protein per calorie with ISO 100. And of course, it's a bit lower in carbohydrates and fat as well. So in the gourmet chocolate flavor of ISO 100, you're getting 0.5 grams of fat and 2 grams of carbohydrates, whereas with Gold Standard, you're getting 1 gram of fat and 3 grams of carbohydrates. It's not a massive difference, practically speaking, at the end of the day. It's like a 13 or so calorie difference between the scoops. But yeah, technically, ISO 100, it is more protein dense, so I gotta give it the edge there. Okay, so what many of you might think is the most important question is which one actually tastes better. So the thing with Dymatize ISO 100 is I think it tastes really good with water, which is a rare thing. And I do need to say that obviously taste is a subjective thing. Everyone has different preferences. But Dymatize, the gourmet chocolate flavor, it's really quite sweet and it's a little mild on the cocoa side. So it's not one of these really dark, rich, overwhelming, like earthy sort of cocoa flavors you'll get out there. It's really, the main flavors you're getting are sweetness and with a hint of cocoa, and it goes really well with water. With milk, it's a little overwhelmingly sweet, I will say that. Whereas with Optimum Nutrition, I'm talking about the double rich chocolate here, it's called double rich, but it really actually isn't a very strong flavor. It's really quite mild, and when you mix it with water, it's not that enjoyable in my opinion. It tastes like water with like a small spoonful of cocoa mixed in with it. So it's not that fun to have. I'm not a massive fan of this Optimum Nutrition flavor, but I will say if you're mixing it with milk, I think it goes better with Gold Standard because it's a bit more mild and the milk adds some like sweetness and creaminess, and that makes it go down pretty well. So if you're mixing with milk, I would go with Gold Standard. If you mix it with water, as I prefer to do, I'd go with Dymatize. All right, big question, which one's cheaper? Well, actually both of these tubs are pretty much the same price. They're both about 30 bucks, but you get a different amount. This is 2 pounds for Gold Standard, whereas it's 1.6 pounds for Dymatize. So at the end of the day, with the Gold Standard, it is about a little over $1 per scoop, or about 4.3 cents per gram of protein. Whereas with ISO 100, you're paying about $1.25 or so per scoop, or about 5 cents per gram of protein. So of course you're paying for the protein here. So on a cents per gram of protein basis, Dymatize is more expensive, which makes sense given the fact that it takes a lot more work to produce hydrolyzed whey. All right, you've got all the information. Which of these protein powders is the best one? Well, first of all, I'm gonna be really boring and say, let's think about context a bit here. Because like, yeah, technically ISO 100, it has less fat, but it's like 1 gram less per scoop. It's not actually that much in the grand scheme of things. Optimum Nutrition, it does have the more controversial artificial sweetener, acesulfame potassium, but there's so little in here, there are no studies that suggest the amount you're gonna get in 1 or 2 scoops is gonna do really any damage to you whatsoever. Also, yeah, the big one, Dymatize does have more hydrolyzed whey. And yeah, technically, it does absorb more quickly. But that's only really gonna make a difference for elite level athletes, people who are working out several times a day, and that's probably not you. So you need to keep all these things in mind when you're talking about which is gonna be the best one. So for me, for my money, here's what I like about them. Dymatize ISO 100, I think it tastes a lot better with water. And also I think that Gold Standard whey here, it's available in more flavors, which is a big deal. It's available in like 2 dozen or more flavors. And also it has digestive enzymes, so it might potentially absorb a little bit more quickly as well. Those are the main differentiators here. But personally, I prefer to mix my protein powder with water, so I give Dymatize ISO 100 the edge, even though it's ever so slightly more expensive. But it's a totally individual thing. Let me know in the comments below which one you think is the best protein powder. And make sure you subscribe as well, because we've got a whole lot more nutrition videos and exercise guides and other sorts of reviews coming up.